Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot testing. And right off the bat, I do apologize if the camera lighting goes all weird. It just stopped raining and we've got some weird cloud cover and shadows. So if the camera light gets a little bit weird, that's why. But we've definitely got a pretty interesting buckshot test today, and one that I have some decently high hopes for. And I'm definitely curious to see how it does, considering what we've seen out of this setup previously. It really surprised us last time we tried this, so I hope that we might be able to see some pretty decent results today as well. So for the setup I've got out here today, I brought out this guy again. This is my old Mossberg 500 AT here with the Mossberg C-Lect choke, which is essentially a poly choke, just Mossberg's own brand of it, if you will. And if you don't know what this is, it's an adjustable choke. You can turn this collar on the outside and it squeezes the fins inside of the barrel for more or less constriction. So definitely an old school design, and one that a lot of people have mixed results with and mixed opinions about. But so far, it's done pretty well for us in our testing anyway. But for the shell, I brought out some of these. And it's been a while since we've tested them, but these are the Herter's 12 gauge buckshot shells. They are a 2 3/4 inch 9 pellet load of double aught buck, moving about 1325 feet per second. And there's definitely nothing special about these buckshot loads at all, really. As far as the way they're loaded, they don't have any kind of special wad or anything like that. But the last time we tested them, although they're not like a flight control load or anything, they were on the upper end of what a normal run-of-the-mill type of buckshot shell will do. They were better than something like the Federal Power Shocks or the Winchester Super X buckshot shells and stuff like that. So maybe these might do pretty well. I'm definitely curious to see how a buckshot shell that doesn't have any kind of special wad or anything does through that old C-Lect choke. And for reference, the last time we ran buckshot through it, we had it on the full choke setting and it did really well. And that's where we're going to have it set to today, is the full choke setting on that barrel. So as for our test, everything is the same as usual. I have the big sheet of paper set up at 40 yards. I have the chronograph, so we'll be able to get our speed. And I have a few templates out here as well that we can lay up if we have a pretty good looking pattern and see how it would have done in some different situations, like if you would have taken it out on a hunt. So let's get you guys a view of this target and we'll take our shot, look at our chrono, and then we'll go down and look at our results. So let's head over here and shoot it and see what kind of results we can get. Okay, so that shell gave us 1350 through our chrono. The box claims 1325, so yeah, I'd say we're right about where we should be. We're 25 above their claim, but it wouldn't surprise me if we bounce just above or just under what they're saying we should be. So definitely nothing out of the ordinary up here, but how well did it actually pattern down there at 40 yards? Let's go take a look and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now for reference, the white dot was my point of aim, and the paper is 36 inches wide by a little bit taller than 36. And I gotta say, this is not great looking, or at least definitely not as good as what we'd seen out of that shotgun previously or these shells previously. We might have been just a touch right on our pattern, but as you can see, we have pellets from the top all the way down to the bottom down there, which I did measure it from that very bottom pellet all the way up to that very top pellet, and it gave us a spread of 31 inches overall. So definitely not anything all that impressive, I wouldn't say. And even our core area here, I mean, it might be just a touch to the right, but still we don't really see a whole lot of anything as far as the core goes. It's just not all that impressive overall, really. I was absolutely hoping for better. At the same time, I'm not entirely surprised either, really, considering the setup with this particular shell. Again, these Herter's buckshot shells are your very basic run-of-the-mill buckshot. No special wad or anything. I'm not even 100% sure if they have any buffer in them or anything like that, but I still wanted to see how that C-Lect choke would do with a load like this. And clearly, I think it definitely prefers loads with wads like the flight control that we've tested previously. But either way, I still have a couple templates out here. Even though it's not great, we'll throw them up just to see what it would have done if you didn't test this setup before you would have taken it out in the field. So we'll start off here with a 10-inch circle. It's not going to be great, but we'll put it up there and just see what it looks like, I guess. Okay, so here's our 10-inch circle, and as we can see, definitely nothing super impressive. If we line it up with our point of aim here, we have technically 3 pellets within there, but 2 of which are on the top edge and 1 just barely snuck down in the bottom down there. So I guess 3 to 4 is about average from what we've seen from more normally loaded, run-of-the-mill cheap buckshot. So I guess it's kind of an average number, but definitely doesn't look nearly as good as some of the other ones we've tested. So let's switch gears and we'll lay our deer template up and just see if you would have taken that shot on a deer, what might it have looked like? It's not going to be great, but would you have at least gotten the deer? Let's put that template up and find out. Okay, so now we have our deer template up, and if we line it up with our point of aim there, we have a front leg at the bottom and his neck just starting off to the right side, and we have a total of 4 pellets that would have hit this deer. I guess 5 if you consider there's one right behind the tiny edge there that would have hit him through the neck as well behind the template, so I guess you could call it 5 really. But either way, what we do see here I think is enough to get the job done. I think you would have got this deer, but I think you would have been tracking a pretty good distance, really. We had these 2 top pellets definitely get into something like the high shoulder area. This one up here towards the neck might have got into some bigger artery or something, but overall here, it's just not impressive. I do think you would have gotten the deer again, but definitely I would not look to use a setup like this for deer after seeing that kind of performance. So overall, a little bit disappointing, I guess, but not totally unexpected either, considering what shell we're using and what setup we're actually using in that shotgun. But at the end of the day, I guess it would have done the job, but still just not a setup that I'm looking to use anyway, that's for sure. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance right there? Definitely nothing impressive, that's for sure. Would it have gotten the deer for you if you would have taken that shot? Yeah, probably, but still, that's not the kind of performance that I would really prefer to see out of a hunting setup, that's for sure. But I guess it's not totally surprising either, really, considering it is a cheap buckshot shell with no special wad or anything like that, going through a 40-year-old or more select choke barrel. It's not completely surprising that we saw the results that we did, but I still wanted to find out, since it did so well previously with the flight control loads, what it might have actually been capable of doing with a non-flight control load as well. And it was definitely a little bit on the disappointing side. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you hoping for better? And if you have one of the old poly chokes or select chokes or something like that and have tried just run-of-the-mill cheap buckshot through it, how has it done for you? Leave all that down below in the comments. But either way, I've got more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send things if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.